What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here again for you guys. A lot to talk about today. A lot of interesting quotes from Roberto De Zerbi as well, which we'll get into. But 11th of August, 3 weeks today until the transfer window officially slams shut. And a lot of work to do. And let's hope that we can do it. Let's hope that we can do it.
Look, we put our video, we shot it yesterday, put out this morning about our worries and concerns. And with each passing day, it's only growing. With that start of the Premier League getting closer and closer. Yeah, it's worrying. But look, there are stories, there's noise. I'm aware Spurs are trying to get deals done. I know we're trying to sign players, we're trying to sign attackers, but at the moment, the lack of movement, you can't be anything but just a bit worried that things are taking so long.
Yeah, I mean, what I would say is that, you know, when we signed Tonali and Fernandes, both of them came kind of somewhat out of the blue, and they were both done within, 48 hours of each other or 24 hours of each other. So things can happen very quickly. So I think it's important just to chill a little bit and just to wait and see by the end of the window, and then we can throw our toys out the pram, and then we can criticise and rant about what's gone on. And but right now, let's just wait and see.
That's fair.
All right, let's get into it. First and foremost, we'll be looking at the kit launch, because Spurs officially launched the third kit today. Purple throwback to many shirts that we've had in yesteryear, and there's been a lot of mixed reaction on this one. So
what's your initial reaction?
My first reaction was I like it. I'm not too sure about the pinstripes, and I'm not too sure about the kind of dark purple or blue, whatever it is, on the side, but I think it'll look quite nice on the pitch.
Yeah, I kind of would maybe prefer like a uniform purple. I'm trying to remember how many purple kits we've had. I remember the one that stands out, the Hewlett-Packard one, when I think you've had a poster of Ginola wearing that kit for many years. So that obviously I remember. I remember we had one, I think back in 2011, I think, under Harry Redknapp. We had a purple kit.
Yeah.
That was like a third kit as well. I've got fairly good memories of purple kits. When was the last time we had a purple kit?
Did we have one up here? So the last purple one we had was that one under Nuno, but it was like purple and yellow. That's not really purple. We had the AIA Under Armour one.
Under Poch, that's it.
Dele Alli. This one reminds me of... Maybe I'll send this to Sammy and he can get this up on the stream.
How does the new launch compare to our old purple kits?
If you bring up that image, you'll see all our past purple kits, and
I don't mind it.
I mean, each one of these kits remind me of a specific player, literally each one of them. So let's play a little game. We're going to go through each kit and we'll say which player this reminds us of. So first one screams Jurgen Klinsmann to me.
Yeah, Klinsmann. That's the kind of player I had in my mind. I think I think there's a few memories of him scoring goals in that kit.
Second one, for me, second one, maybe Raw Fox for some reason.
Raw Fox. Yeah, no one really I'm trying to think. Maybe I can't think of it. No one really comes to mind. I think it was a bit before my time. Yeah, to be honest.
Third one's definitely Dove Ginola because of that, what you just said. Fourth one reminds me of Rohan Ricketts.
Oh, interesting. I have Freddie Canute in my mind.
Didn't Rohan Ricketts score?
He did get on his debut against Coventry, and everyone thought he was going to be the next best thing, and it never quite turned out to be that way. But yeah, Rohan Ricketts. But yeah, I remember Freddie Canute scored an absolute banger away at Man City in that kit, and that just stands out.
The fifth one reminds me of Sandro for some reason.
Sandro. I would say Adebayor for some reason. I've got a memory of Adebayor. I think I remember him score. I think he scored a brace away at West Brom in that kit, and that just stands out in my mind.
Sixth one for me is Dele Alli.
Yeah,
it's got to be Dele Alli. That one. Number 7 is an interesting one. I'll probably just go for Harry Kane.
Yeah, Harry Kane. I remember that he was wearing that kit on the day that I'm trying to remember. I think because he was set to leave, wasn't he, that summer? And I think he came on against Wolves, and I think he was wearing that kit. And he obviously got a big applause just after trying to leave, and then he announced he was staying. So yeah, Harry Kane's one. I'm trying to remember like anything we did in that shirt. Oh no, that wasn't that shirt. That shirt was under Poch.
Yeah,
In 07, no, sorry, no, that was under Poch. So that was, I remember we played in that shirt at the Bernabeu. Yes, we played that shirt at the Bernabeu. Danny Rose in the midfield, maybe.
And then number 8 again is Dele Alli for me.
Dele Alli.
Dele Alli with the dreads.
Dele Alli, yes, under Nuno. I remember he scoring a penalty. So yeah, that one. Dele Alli was, I think Brian Hill for some reason.
Yeah,
was in my mind when I look at that kit. Brian Hill.
But yeah, those are the kind of...
I think, yeah, number 7's probably the nicest. I like number 7.
Yeah, it's not really purple.
Yeah, it's kind of really dark purple. Number 6 is quite nice.
I like the older ones. So
yeah,
I like number 3's great, number 4's great, number 2's great.
Some people say 8 Kulusevski. Yeah, I remember he scored against Leeds in that kit. 7 is Ericsson. Away at Juve. Yeah, he scored a goal. 8 Son. I don't picture Son in that kit for some reason. I don't know. I don't know. Hard to picture Son in that kit.
The first player that comes to my mind is Dele Alli. It really is.
Dele Alli. Number says Chris Armstrong for one of them.
Chris Armstrong's probably the 2.
Number 2.
He must be saying number 2 for Chris Armstrong. People are saying 8 Ndombele.
Ndombele. Number 2 Teddy Sheringham. Number 5 Aaron Lennon. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I can see that.
8 Eric Dyer. 8 Reguilon. Was he still there? He must have been.
That number 8 shirt is just, you put it together with absolute crap, basically.
6 I see Son. Yeah, but that was Son's bad season.
Well, actually, we made Champions League that season, didn't we?
Which one?
The one we had the 8 kit.
We did. It was a bad start, and then obviously we got it together.
Yeah. So I just remember that kit because didn't we wear it in the first round of the Cup against Forest? And
in number 8?
Yeah.
No, it was against Wolves.
Against Wolves, sorry, yeah.
We went to penalties.
Molyneux, yeah. We didn't wear it many times. I think we wore it quite a bit in the in Europe, in the conference.
I remember a game we played Leeds away, Ellen Road. We won 4-0. I remember we wore that kit. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I think in the Premier League, you're right. I don't think we wore it too often. But in terms of the new one, how does it stack up, do you think, to these ones?
I think it's not the best shirt on there, that's for sure. I would say that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7
so it's the
are all better. But I don't mind it. You see that image of Tonali wearing it.
Yeah,
it
looks good. He does look good in it. Tonali aura farming in the picture. Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, it's just the pinstripes. I think if it didn't have those pinstripes, I think it would be really nice. Really nice.
What if it was just uniform?
Yeah, if it was, and it's also got some detail on the kit. I don't know if we can
zoom in
or something, but it's got some really nice detail on it as well. Can you see it? Yeah, you can see it slightly on that picture.
What am I looking at?
You can see some little sort of shapes behind.
I see. Yeah. Oh, so there's a Spurs crest shaped behind, is it? Or
I don't think it's Spurs shaped crest, but it's some sort of design. Can't really explain it. You got to see it for yourself. But maybe if you go in and see the whole kit, you'll be able to see it. If you go into the Spurs store and get a whole picture of one of the kits, and zoom in. Can you zoom in? You can see it's like some sort of
oh, I see, line squiggles.
Tiger design or something.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah, nice, I like that touch about it. But can you imagine if it had that tiger design without the pinstripes?
Yeah, I agree. I don't know what these stripes are about. I'm not sure about the stripes.
Like the faded stripes to where the AIA is as well. It's a bit strange.
The back.
You can see it there. It's nice that.
Okay, that's nice. But yeah, why? They love doing this. They've done it a few kits. They have the stripe and then but on the back it only happens at the bottom. It's what's the point?
They've just overcomplicated it a little bit. That's nice. Look at that.
Oh no, the material's nice. Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, but look, that is the kit, the third kit, and I think as a kind of collection of kits, the home shirt is probably my least favourite out of all three. This one here is my favourite one.
Yeah, it's nice.
This is a really nice kit. I like this when I first saw it. I think it's really one of the best kits that we've had. I think under Nike.
I like the juxtaposition with all the colours because I think sometimes the away kit and the third kit can be too similar, and sometimes I end up wondering why the hell why not just make it one light and one dark? Why have you done it similar? But I do like the contrast, so that's good.
Yeah, and then the thing is with the home shirt, I just really hate the collar on it. I think it's such a strange collar. This one, I think football kits should be this kind of collar, in my opinion. And then the third kit has like a proper collar.
Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of the proper collar on a kit. I mean, it kind of looks cool, but I don't know. Not a massive fan of it when I'm wearing one.
Yeah. But look, that is the third kit. Let us know in the comments section below. Are you a fan of it? Will you be getting it? I think it's going to be quite popular, to be honest, because I think people love a purple kit. It's a very nice colour.
Fashion TV, people are saying. Different channel.
So, yeah, do let us know in the comments section below. But let's get in to the Tottenham update. You could probably just clip that on its own, to be honest, just the third kit launch. But yeah, let's move on and let's talk about this situation brewing with the Lewis family. Sky News are reporting today that the Lewis family have joined a consortium bidding for a new NBA Europe London franchise. This bid will put them up against Daniel Levy, who is part of the rival consortium. So it's the Lewis family going up against Daniel Levy,
going head to head
for that NBA London franchise.
So how long until we have NBA at the Tottenham Stadium?
Well, it depends who wins it.
Yeah,
if Daniel Levy wins it, then
no
probably
chance.
never.
Yeah, look, they're going head to head. I don't know how this affects Tottenham, but I think it's going to be very interesting to see who comes out on top. I just read the article, and it said the Lewis family are teaming up with these two other big, obviously, I'm assuming very wealthy families who are part of two big already NBA franchises or basketball franchises. So they know what they're doing from a basketball standpoint. The Lewis family know what they're doing just from a sports standpoint, obviously involved in Tottenham. So it sounds like a good bit. I don't know who Levy's partnering up with.
So Levy's partnering with Liberty Global and MSB Sports Capital. So if you remember when all those takeover rumours when Levy was at Spurs, MSP Capital, who were the backers of McLaren Racing, they were the ones that were having meetings with Levy at the time. So now I'm thinking, were they in the meetings with Levy to take over Tottenham, or were they in the meetings with Levy to talk about this NBA franchise?
Good question. A lot of fans who are currently disgruntled with our lack of activity over the past 5 weeks are saying, this is what they've been doing over the last 5 weeks. Stick to football, get the transfers done. I thought football was supposed to be the priority of this football club.
Yeah, couldn't they wait till after the transfer window
exactly to get this going?
The consortiums and all this kind of stuff.
And all this Michigas. Come on, get some signings through the door. I don't really care about NBA. I need the Lewis family to focus, people. Focus. We need some strikers. Come on.
Exactly. So there you have it. Lewis family are trying to bring an NBA franchise.
Having said that, it would be funny if they got one over on Daniel Levy.
Mickey van der Ven has officially signed his new contract. It was announced last night from Tottenham Hotspur. So it is a 5-year deal that will run until 2031, and he's going to be paid over £240,000 a week.
Wow.
Which is a massive, massive contract from the Lewis family for Mickey van der Ven, which will put him second highest earner at the club, just below Sandro Tonali. So what do you make out of that? Because we were kind of theorising of what deal he's going to get, and I kind of said, maybe he'll just replace Coutinho Romero's deal at about just under 200. But they've smashed that one out of the water, really.
Well, it's obviously, first of all, it's evidence of the rising wage structure at Spurs, which they said they were going to do, and now they're obviously putting their money where their mouth is. I think obviously Van der Ven is in a quite strong negotiation position with the contract running down. He's such an important player. He also knows if we were to sell Van der Ven, if we were to replace him with someone as good as him, you're going to have to pay something similar. So you might as well give Van de Ven what he wants. So I think it makes sense. I think I've seen a lot of eyebrows raised at the the size of the weekly wage that he's getting. But for me, I think he's worth it. I think it matches his stature in the squad. He is one of the most important players in the squad. He's also now, I mean, when you're looking at the squad, how many players are more long-serving than him? I mean, there's not even that many. You got Ben Davies, Romero set to leave. Like, I know he didn't even join that long ago, but he's actually one of the probably longest. This is his 4th season. He's coming into his 4th season. So there aren't too many players as important as him who are also as long-serving as him. So I think it's just matching his stature in the squad, isn't it?
Well, I guess James Maddison came the same summer, didn't he?
Maddison came the same summer, yeah.
Vicario came the same summer, but he's going to be out the door. Richarlison was here before him.
But again, not as important.
True. Udogie came the same summer, not as important.
Decky, but he's obviously...
Solanke came the summer after. Decky came before.
Yeah, but obviously he's been out for...
Pedro Porro.
Yeah, he's just got a new contract. But I don't know how much he's on, but yeah.
Bentancur.
Yeah.
Sarr.
Yeah.
And that's it.
So he's actually one of the more long-serving players in the squad, and obviously he's a very important player. And I think we're future-proofing him. I think probably he doesn't need a new contract now and a wage hike for a few more years. You can wade that off. I think it's the right thing to do. I think you give him that major pay rise. You show your signal of intent. Obviously, the downside is, any new signing or other players will look at the top earners in the squad and say, okay, if I'm coming in to be as important as you want me to be, that's the kind of wage I'm going to be expecting. I expect to be either matching Tonali or I'm expecting to match Van de Ven, but that's the price you pay for waging the wage structure, and that's what you got to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's a fantastic bit of business from the club to sign, because, genuinely, when you look at it, 3-4 months ago, you could not see the situation ever coming about, because he looked like he was done with Tottenham. He didn't look passionate at all when Thomas Frank was at the club, and later Igor Tudor. But De Zerbi's managed to swing him round, and now he's signed a new long-term deal at the club. So it's fantastic, and that shows you where maybe the players think that this project is going with Roberto De Zerbi. Let's go and have a look at how the club did announce it. So they released this little video.
Yeah, it's a lovely little video, I think,
really buzzing about
that they released.
I won't say it's a different feeling because it feels like home.
Is this the?
It's just a normal feeling, I would say, but
this was part of it. This wasn't the actual first one they posted, I don't think.
If you scroll down,
really special,
you see him there with Roberto De Zerbi signing that contract.
But there was a video they posted, is like he said, this one. Yeah, this one. This one was really nice, I thought.
When something big happens
saying the first
in your
one I
life,
want to tell is, you always tell your family
first
important news. I thought this was a really nice video.
So, I want to tell you,
the agent,
I
Secret
just signed
Services,
a new contract with Spurs.
Brilliant. And it's such a U-turn, isn't it? From, as you say, from where he was a few months ago. It wasn't long ago he was having those interviews with Gary Neville on the overlap, and he was a lot of people saying, is he soft launching, a potential transfer? His form dipped.
Probably was at that point.
Yeah, his form dipped. Obviously massively at the back end of Frank, and then under Igor Tudor, like he seemed just disillusioned, didn't he? And he just seemed he wanted to be anywhere else but Tottenham. And he even said it himself. When De Zerbi came in, his mentality wasn't right. His body language was all over the place. But the flip in him since De Zerbi has come in, and now he's even signed a new contract when there's been clubs like Liverpool and other Barcelona have been interested apparently, and he's now seen it fit. They're not only is he want to stay, but he's really ready to commit his future here. I think that just shows the impact De Zerbi's made.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's fantastic news. Van de Ven has signed on until 2031. So I've just got a list here of like the contract lengths at Spurs now. So the players going into their last year of their contract now: Richarlison, Ben Davies, Dane Scarlett, and Dubravka. And then 2 years left is Kulusevski, Maddison, Vicario, and Phillips. So out of those players, I guess the only one probably that will get a contract is Maddison, and then Kulusevski, if he gets back to what we know he can be, then he'll get one. But out of everyone else, they're probably going to leave over next year.
Yeah, absolutely right. There's rumours that there isn't a 1-year extension on Rishi, so I do wonder if we keep him, whether we trigger it. But other than that, yeah, I think Maddison and Decky. I think probably with Maddison and Decky, I think what the club will do is just probably let them go into their last year and assess it then.
And with 3 years left is Romero, Spence, Bentancur, Robertson, Odebear, Moore, Austin, Hall, Donnelly, Gunter, Olasesi, Abbott and Dorrington. So out of the first teamers there, I guess...
Yeah, Romero and Spence could be leaving.
Yeah, they could be leaving. Bentancur, I don't think gets another contract.
No.
Robertson probably doesn't get another contract. Does any of those get another contract?
Well,
Maybe,
Odebear
obviously,
and Moore.
Mikey Moore.
Hopefully Odebear, if he comes back,
Yeah.
you would say. But other
Even
than
that is not like
nailed on.
nailed on, yeah.
Well, yeah.
All the players that are going to shape our future are all tied down to long contracts. When you look at Senesi, Solanke and Udogie, who knows what's going to happen with them, but Gray, Sar's down on a long contract, Danso's down on a long contract. I mean, out of all of them, it's probably just Senesi and Gray who are guarantees, but 31 is Van der Ven, Porro, Fernandez, Kudus, Bergvall, Tell, Kinski, Gallagher, Souza, and then Tonali and Simmons all down to 32.
So big deals, yeah, big long contracts for most of our main players, which is really, really good.
Yeah. So that is the contract situation with Mickey van der Ven. Let's talk about Jed Spence now, because there have been developments over the last 12 hours or so. Fabrizio Romano saying that Inter are now prepared to send an official bid for Jed Spence if exit conditions change compared to the €45 million request post World Cup. Inter believe the price can be under €40 million now. Talks with Tottenham will now follow. Gazzetta Italia, obviously speaking from the Italian side of things, saying that Inter Milan are now close to reaching agreement to sign Jed Spence. Inter are expected to complete a deal with Tottenham worth €30 million plus bonuses. I mean, that sounds like a hella cheap deal for Jed Spence, particularly after the World Cup he's just had. Are Spurs really going to sanction a move of €30 million plus bonuses for Jed Spence?
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like they're really desperate to get rid. Again, as I've said before, I would be shocked if there are not Premier League clubs interested for a higher fee. Obviously, Inter Milan tried to get a cheap fee for Romero. They ended up, looks like they're going to be gazumped by Atletico Madrid for that. So I do wonder if it will happen again with Jed Spence, and someone will come in with a higher fee, which Inter Milan can't afford. I think this is obviously evidence of just the fees that teams in Italy and Spain are just able to pay compared to Premier League teams. Because if we were selling them to a Premier League team, there is no chance it would be that low. It would have to be minimum 35 to 40 million pounds. That is not euros. I think if you're talking about 30 million euros, that is, considering his stock, I think that would be a really disappointing fee. I wouldn't sanction a bid like that. Obviously, it comes into play how desperate Spence is to leave and also how much interest there is in him. So if he's really mindset on going and Inter Milan are the only team willing to put up the money, maybe, you've got a decision to make there. But again, I would just be really surprised if there are no Premier League teams coming in for him right now and ready to bid more.
But even if Spence is that desperate to leave, it doesn't mean that we should get lowballed. I think it's ridiculous, to be honest, like, if we're even willing to accept this. Like, if Spence wants to leave, good offers need to come in. We can't just, anyone that wants to leave, we're just going to accept like really low offers for. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. I think, especially with a player who's got value in the squad. Like, I think when it comes to Romero, maybe it's a bit different. Like, we've already signed his replacement, ready to move on. Spence has still got a place in this squad right now, and he's still relied upon on some aspects. He's not like some player who is easily replaceable. So I wouldn't want to just sell him on the cheap. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, exactly. And, it was one thing doing it for Romero. There were many conditions going into the Romero situation, but Jed Spence to have, like, let's say you got Romero and Spence who could both leave for like £50 million combined, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. We should be getting
that should never be allowed to happen.
In another world, you're getting £50 million each.
Yeah, you should be.
Like that's kind of
minimum.
That's kind of the ballpark you should be playing with. If Arsenal come in for 60, are you selling?
What, to Spence? if he wants to go there, yeah.
I still believe that there'll be Premier League interest. I know it hasn't come to pass for whatever reason right now. I've got an inkling there will be Premier League interest coming in, and they'll make bids.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see what happens on that situation. But another fullback who could potentially be on his way out of Tottenham this summer is Destiny Udogie. Alfredo Padula, again, has updated with the further information on a potential deal, saying Roma will have further talks with Tottenham for Udogie. Up to a month ago, he was untouchable, but the situation is changing and it depends on the deal structure. So again, he's saying that Spurs are open to letting Destiny Udogie leave Spurs this summer. He's gone from untouchable to maybe we'll do a deal in the space of a month. And maybe that suggests maybe where they think about his injury situation. Maybe his injury situation ain't getting any better.
I mean, the reality is he hasn't played in pre-season. He didn't go to the World Cup. He should be like ready to go. Like he ended the season playing, right? So he wasn't injured at the end of last season. So what has happened again over the summer and recent weeks that has meant that he's missing out yet again in more games in the lead up to the season. So maybe the club are looking at it thinking, you know, is this guy ever going to stay fit? What is the problem? And if you do get a really, enticing offer, is it worth letting him go if you can't get on top of his injuries? And I think maybe the fact that we're considering offers maybe is evidence of that. I think Udogie could be perfect for De Zerbi, and I think he could be a top left back, but it's just the reality. And the reality is that there is something going on with him where he can't seem to stay fit, and this pre-season is just more evidence of that, and that is probably frustrating the club at the moment. And also maybe
someone in the comments says he's untouchable because if you touch him he gets an injury, which ain't too far from the truth, to be honest. But I think you cannot let both of these go in the same window. You cannot. It's impossible. Like, how do you expect us to do proper squad planning if you're letting two fullbacks go in the same window? You're going to need to bring in two players.
Yeah, I agree. I think maybe the thought process is if we can get more money for Udogie than we can for Spence, then we sell him. But if not, then Spence goes. Maybe that's the thinking. I don't think we let go of both. I really don't.
Like, are we really going to say that Sousa's going to be our backup left back next season?
Surely not.
But the thing is, if he wants to keep him around, then maybe he values him that highly.
I'll be shocked if he does.
I mean, shocked as well,
because you've got all the, how we've been moving this whole summer, we need first choice. We want, no risk, and then all of a sudden, okay, yeah, Sousa's good enough. That doesn't make sense to me. There's just been another update by the it's the same thing by the Athletic. A fee is for Spence. A fee in the region of 25.5 million is being discussed between Tottenham and Inter. I mean, it just seems incredibly low, doesn't it, for Jed Spence? We're thinking if we can get more than that.
We should not be sitting down at the negotiation table for 25 million. It should be starting bids at 40 million. Starting bids at 40 million.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But these European clubs can't afford it.
Well, that's if I go into a shop and say I can't afford something, then I'm not going to get it. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's the way it works. If they can't afford him, then they can't have him.
Yeah, I agree. I think that should be how we approach this. I don't know if there's something going on behind the scenes. I don't even know, to be fair, I don't know if we're actually... I mean, the Italian sources are saying there's close to an agreement, but the other sources aren't necessarily saying that just yet. So maybe, we're waiting for more money from them. I don't think we sell him for 25 million. I think maybe they could get away with 30 million plus like 5 to 10 million in add-ons, and maybe there's something there. I can't see 25.
I'm more inclined to do a deal like that for Destiny Udogie than I am for Jed Spence because of his availability. That kind of makes a bit more sense. But Jed Spence, brilliant World Cup, never really let us down on the pitch. He can play right and left. 40 million minimum it is for Jed Spence. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, they didn't even want to pay that for Romero, so.
Yeah. But maybe Jed Spence is more important for them than Romero because they're stacked with centre backs and they're clearly looking. I don't know who they got right. Obviously, Dumfries has left, hasn't he? So maybe he's actually more of importance than Guti Romero.
Judging by the fee, it doesn't seem so.
No. Let's talk about Romero then, because we heard yesterday that the deal to Atletico is rumbling along and looks like it could happen pretty soon. Fabrizio Romano has said that Barcelona have now said no to Coutinho Romero. The decision was taken by Hansi Flick. So it looks as though he's only got one option now, which is Atletico Madrid. So I expect the deal to be done pretty soon.
Inter are still there, aren't they? I guess. They didn't pull out the deal, have they? It's just been gazumped by Atletico.
I think they weren't willing to give Romero the wages he wants.
I think Atletico, have got given a better deal. So, but I guess they're still there. But I think Atletico was always the number one choice. He was always going to most likely to end up there. When it comes to Barca, I'd wonder if they do go for someone to replace Araujo, and if they are, I mean, and you're looking at the fees for Romero, I would be surprised if they can get anyone better than him for that kind of fee. But if he says no, maybe he feels like he's too much risk in that high line, and I think he probably suits Atletico a bit more, to be honest, than Barca, and the way Simeone will probably want to play. So I think it probably makes sense to me.
Yeah, I think he'd be good in either of those teams, to be honest. But we said it last summer, didn't we? Like, that is like a match made in heaven or hell, whichever way you want to look at it, for Romero and Atletico Madrid. He's a proper Simeone player. So it looks like he's going to end up there. And last but not least, we're going to go to the Daily Savinho. Once again
the never-ending story.
Fabrizio Romano says Savinho to Tottenham remains on. Spurs are still working on the deal, and Man City are working on signing a new winger.
If I hear that one more time, I swear my head is going to explode.
When he joins us, when he inevitably joins us, the video to announce him, he's got to come out and say the Savinho deal is on.
How many times do I have to hear personal terms agreed, he wants to join, the deal is on? The same thing every single day. For God's sake, just something happen. It's really, really doing my head in, this deal. It's starting to give me a headache, I swear. It's starting to give me physical problems, this deal. Let's just I don't know I don't know how much I can say about this deal. Like it's the same thing we're commenting on.
I saw a report somewhere else that said that Man City are definitely looking to bring in players, but they're finding it hard to find players of the required quality.
That's my worry. That is my worry that I was saying yesterday.
Moving on as well.
Also true, but that is my worry. But the thing is, it's a lot harder for Man City to improve on Savinho than it is for us to improve on what we have.
Savinho.
But we don't have Savinho. We have what we have.
Yeah, but Savinho is the player that we want. So
I understand that.
A player of that quality or better.
But if they're going to keep Savinho, we can still improve on what we have. In Man City, if they let go of Savinho, they're not guaranteed to improve on what they have. That's the point. So I think that's why I wouldn't be surprised if they somehow convince him to stay. But look, we know he wants to leave. We want him. Obviously, there's a deal to be done there if Man City can get their replacement and things fall into place. But the longer it rumbles on, it's just more likely that somehow Man City come to an agreement with him or convince him, and the more he's like playing well in friendlies and showing Man City what he's capable of, maybe the more he can convince him that he deserves more minutes. All that kind of stuff plays into it. I'm just getting very worried that Man City might end up just sitting down with him, and they might end up keeping him.
There has been another development today that could draw the interest of Spurs with Iliman Ndiaye. Fabrizio Romano said about Iliman Ndiaye today that he's rejected a move to Saudi and he wants to stay in the Premier League. So could that be a deal that Spurs go and look at if we can't get Savinho over the line?
100%.
Is it a deal that we should look at alongside Savinho?
100%. I think, look, as I've said yesterday, I don't know if it's realistic that we're going to get both Savinho and Gakpo given the conditions. I think right now it's leaning towards unrealistic at this point that we're actually going to get both of them.
Just signed Brennan Johnson as well.
They just signed Brennan. So for me, as I said, if you're gonna wait for those signings, wait for one, don't wait for both. And if Ndiaye is there, if there's a deal to be done, try and do it. Try and get him over the line. He can play right, he can play left. He provides creativity, he provides dribbling, adds quality to the forward line. And then if Savinho or Gakpo come available, then you can then go for it. And even if both of them come available, sign both. Whatever we need three anyway. So you can cross that bridge when you come to it. But I think Iliman Ndiaye is right there. I think he'd be a great signing. I think it'd be a great signing.
Yeah, I've really liked Ndiaye for quite some time now, and I think he had a great season last year. And I think he is a player that, if you put him in a better team, he'll look so much more assured on the wings as well.
The only thing I'd say about Ndiaye is I don't think he's as good when it comes to his finishing or stuff like that than Gakpo in front of goal. I also don't think he's as good at dribbling and creating.
He's a very good dribbler, though.
He is, but I don't think he's as good as Savinho. I think Savinho is good at that. So from that point of view, I do think marrying Savinho and Gakpo obviously makes more sense. But as I've said, I don't know if we get both of them. I think Iliman Ndiaye is also quite good at both. He's not like terrible at both. He's like more of like if like Savinho is like 8 or 9 out of 10 at dribbling and creating, and Gakpo's maybe a 7 or 8 out of 10 at like finishing and getting in those positions. I think probably Ndiaye is probably a 7 in both kind of thing.
I feel like Ndiaye got better at finding himself in those kind of scoring positions this season.
Yeah, I just don't think he's an amazing finisher.
No, he's not an amazing finisher. The thing is, if we go for Ndiaye, it'll be a replacement for Savinho. It won't be a replacement for Gakpo.
Yeah, that's what I would. Yeah, that's what I would prefer. But I would still, if we can't get Gakpo, I would still get Savinho and Ndiaye if we could.
Yeah, but God help, what's going on with Brennan Johnson, man? Jesus.
Well, someone says he's upgraded. Everton, bigger club.
Yeah, it's true. And also, some people said people are just signing Brennan Johnson because they want to get a trophy over the line.
That's the one thing he guaranteed.
That's why they signed Brennan Johnson. So
yeah,
any punters out there back at Everton to win a trophy this season?
Do you think he'll do well at Everton?
I think they've actually got a decent deal there because it's a straight swap for
McNeil.
And I think, look, McNeil is a very good player and he's got talent. Don't get me wrong; he's got great crossing ability and shooting ability. But I think I might prefer Brennan Johnson in my team to McNeil.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see because again, when it comes to Brennan, he's obviously very good at what he's good at, which is the timing of his runs, running in behind. He's a good finisher, but he's just not like if you're replacing Ndiaye with Brennan, you're going to be. I think Everton fans would not be happy with that. You know what I mean? Because he just offers something completely different.
Replacing McNeil for Brennan.
Understand that, but if Ndiaye, yeah, true. If Ndiaye leaves, obviously they're going to have to replace him again. But yeah, Brennan is just one of those players you have to play to his strengths. He can't just fit in any system. He's not like a plug and play player. You have to really kind of like your system has to be really catered to getting the most out of him. And that's what obviously we did quite well when he was scoring so many goals. We were just finding him time and time again at that back post, and he was really paying dividends. But when he went to Palace, it was just... he just couldn't find his rhythm. He just wasn't able to be effective. He didn't score a single goal. A lot of Palace fans are calling him their worst ever signing. They really not liked him. Maybe he got a raw deal because he was only there for 6 months. Maybe if he was there for a bit longer, he could have really proven himself. But I wonder how David Moyes plays. Will that suit him or will that not? I'm a bit undecided about it because I think David Moyes likes his wingers to be quite kind of taking people on and stuff. And I don't know if Brendan can do that, but we'll see.
Yeah, look, I think David Moyes can play some decent counter-attacking football at some points. And when you're looking at Brennan Johnson before he was at Tottenham, at Nottingham Forest, he played some of his best football in counter-attacking systems. So
but he was playing quite central, wasn't he, at times at Forest?
I mean, he was a lot on the right wing, wasn't he? I thought
it was kind of a mix. Yeah, he was a lot on the right. He was a lot on the right. But who was his manager then? It was Steve Cooper. I think, yeah. I mean, look, I'm not saying he definitely can't work. I'm just when I envisage how David Moyes likes to play his wingers, I don't know if he's going to be suited to it. But let's see. Anyway,
good luck to Brendan Johnson. Will forever hold a place in our hearts for that Europa League final win and the season that he had. So big up to Brendan Johnson. Hope he goes and smashes it out at Everton. But that is your Tottenham update today. Even a bit of Everton transfer news in there for you as well. So let us know your thoughts on all those situations in the comments section below. We have got some Roberto De Zerbi quotes to get through today. He's been doing a lot of media, hasn't he, over the past few days? And he was on Men in Blazers, and he was also on a different podcast as well. So we're going to read through a couple of quotes and see what we make of them. So the first one He praised the club for their summer window and defends Tottenham's transfer spending. And he says, the club have been great. They closed very important players. I think we have not finished yet. Okay, we've spent some money, but other clubs have done the same or more in the past. And to compete in the Premier League, you need first-level players. So, yeah, he's obviously going to be backing up his transfer business so far.
But yeah, and I think he's spot on. I think this is what I was saying when he was talking about, when he was asked about if there's pressure on him and because of all the money we spent. But the reality is this hasn't had to happen. Like, we're catching up to these other teams who've spent previously lots of money. Even this summer, they're going to be spending lots of money. So us spending this money isn't us being like, okay, we're now like really pushing the boat out. We're really, I mean, it is because we haven't done it before, but it's also just playing catch up a bit as well to the other teams. And if we're going to play catch up and close the gap, we had to spend this money to give ourselves a fighting chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, look, the reality is we've spent all this money and we still need to spend so much more money
Probably to double it.
To even like be considered in the conversation with these kind of clubs. So hopefully, he says the business ain't done yet, and I'm sure they're trying
That's
to
what we
get
want to
players
hear.
over the line. So look, it's not the first time he said that. He said that multiple times, and we just need to see the players come through the door because the season is very soon. He also says we need to find the conditions to build a strong team, a stronger team than last season, and to compete again for the top of the table. So that's clearly where his ambitions are at, to get Spurs competing right at the top.
Look, he's an ambitious guy. He won't look at the 17th last season and think, and I don't think he'll be thinking like Frank was thinking, like, oh, 17th, you know, oh, you got to remember that, and reminding us all the time. He's going to be wanting to shoot right to the very top. That's the kind of character he is. He's not aiming for anything other than right at the very top. Even if, you know, obviously he wants to sign players and stuff, but he backs himself. He's a confident guy. He's an ambitious guy, and he's going to want Tottenham right back in that conversation in Champions League straight away for sure.
Yeah. And the reality is, if we carry on spending this money in the forward line and get the players that we want before the end of the transfer window, we should be in that conversation. We should be competing for Champions League. You can't spend all this money and then have another mid-table finish. You know what I mean? We have to be in that conversation.
Yeah, if we can get those three attackers that we'll want, then 100% we should be in that conversation.
He says the ambition of the owner of the club, the board and the people who decide behind me are very important and very high. So
they're ambitious. I mean,
in talking about the ambition of the Lewis family, Vinay, Johan, all these people.
Yeah, it's important to remember he is talking about his bosses here, so he's going to be obviously talking them up. But this is their first summer. They've been spending money. We need to spend more, but they have put their money where their mouth is so far. So I've got very little. I know I've been unhappy, or well, not unhappy. I've been worried about the attacking players. You know, whether they come in and what's going on with that. But right now, if you're still asking me right now how happy I am with the window, I'm still very happy, and I'm still happy with the business we have done. Obviously, I'm concerned about the business we haven't done, but the window's not over yet. So I'm just worried about what the links currently are and how reactive we currently are being. It seems we're being anyway. So that is a bit of an issue. But in terms of the business we have done, I couldn't be happier in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, what would really frustrate me if, like, we get to the end of the window, we haven't got the players that we want. That would obviously be the main frustration. You can just see it now, you know. At the end, Vinay goes, oh, yeah, but we broke our transfer record twice in the same window. You can't do everything that you want to do. This is a long-term project and everything like that. Like, I've heard all that crap before. You know what I mean? So,
and then you get Spurs other fans and saying, "Oh, you're spoiled. Well, what did you expect? You've spent all this money and you're still not happy. You're going to get all that stuff."
The reality is, if we're a serious club, you don't go in to the new season with an attacking lineup like we have done in previous years. And if it stays the same, it's lower half of the table quality. That's what it is, and that's not what our ambitions are, or not what our ambition should be. So if the window ended tomorrow, this transfer window has been nowhere near good enough. That is the reality. Roberto De Zerbi reveals he's determined to change the recent Premier League finishes. He says, "We live for our fans, for our club, to make our fans happy. We work to make our fans happy. It's a big challenge because 2 seasons in a row in the bottom of the table, and we want to change that situation."
Yeah, and I think that's what we all want.
Yeah.
I think that's obvious. Last 2 seasons has been a disaster from that point of view. We should never have been battling down where we were, especially over the last 2 seasons. So that needs to change very quickly, and I think we got the perfect manager for it.
Yeah, I agree. De Zerbi says the quality of player is not enough to compete at the highest level. He says, I love the players who play with pride to wear the shirt and pride to stay in Tottenham, because the quality of players are not enough. If you don't put something more, something of yourself, something you feel inside of you, it's very tough to compete with the top teams in the world. And that is so spot on. I couldn't agree more with that comment, to be honest, because we've seen so many times, we've had so many fights about players and this and that, about, look at Ndombele, for example. Ndombele is a prime example of it, isn't he? Because that guy had all the quality in the world, all the technical ability in the world. What a player, if you just look at the player. But if you don't have the mentality to match it, then you're a terrible player. That's the reality. Yeah. That's for certain.
Yeah, I agree. I would say when it comes to that, I think obviously you need players who are hungry, who want to be at Tottenham, who want to give their best every day, who are passionate, who really care. And I think definitely over the past at least 6-7 years, definitely since the Poch days, there's just been a lot of players coming through, not bad players necessarily, but players that just haven't had that fire, players that haven't had that burning ambition. They're here, obviously they're trying, but I'm not saying they're not trying their best, but are they really passionate about being at Tottenham? Do they love being here? Are they passionate about making us the best we can and giving their all for the team? And I think there have been a lot of question marks about a few players ever since, over the last few years, ever since you saw it with that Poch team. There was just that fire there, wasn't there? And there was every game, the Battle of the Bridge was a prime example. Even if we go down, we go down swinging, and we have just been so meek over definitely the past 2 years, in the Premier League, been so meek. We've just been so feeble. Even when we've gone down, even before the game, there's just so many games you can just know what's going to happen, and then it happens, and we just lose easily. And it's just been so hard to watch, and it's been so horrible. So hopefully those days are gone now.
Yeah, so many players like that we've had over the years at Tottenham, because when we've signed players, we just haven't drilled into the mentality side at all when kind of recruiting players. Moani was another one. That quote that Moani came out with yesterday, basically saying what everyone was thinking at the time. How many times have we sat here and said, this guy's heart is not in it. Mm-hmm. This guy has been a disgrace for the majority of times he played for Tottenham Hotspur. And his quote said, tough year at Tottenham, it can happen in a player's career, but I admit I was distracted by my desire to return to Juventus. I'm happy to be back here. I mean, that just says it all, doesn't it?
So we had a player just here, just basically waiting, so basically on a year holiday, so to wait so he can go back to Juve.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the kind of mentality we had in the dressing room. And you think he gives a shit if we went down last season? Not a chance.
Not a chance. Roberto De Zerbi speaking about the atmosphere in the dressing room about when he arrived at the club. He said very tough, because there was a very tough atmosphere, very tough period of the season. The enthusiasm, the atmosphere was not good enough, especially if you consider Tottenham one of the most important clubs in the Premier League. And he has spoken about this in the past, didn't he, about after that Sunderland game, just people sitting down crying, not a positive atmosphere at all, which I mean you can understand to a certain extent after them having to sit through Thomas Franklin, sit through Igor Tudor, sitting at the bottom of the league or in the relegation zone as well. But De Zerbi came in and changed that.
And it's easy to forget, how, resigned everyone was to kind of relegation before De Zerbi came in. Everyone was saying when De Zerbi came in, the narrative was his football's never going to work. He's not even going to be here next season. He's going to, if he relegates, he's going to leave, all this kind of stuff. And we were losing game after game. And the way he turned that ship around, he got us playing, even just to a semi-competent level, was a minor miracle at the time, considering the level of injuries, the form we were on. Everyone seemed to be, just in a bad way in the club. The confidence was drained out of this team. The belief was completely gone. And I don't know how he did it. He somehow turned it around, and it was a miracle. He doesn't get enough credit for me for what he did last season. I know we've kind of moved on from it, and now we're looking in the future. But last season was a miracle.
Yeah, it really was. Do you think he actually would have stayed if we got relegated?
I mean, he said he would. Yeah, I think he would have. I actually think he would have in the end.
I don't know if he would have. I think he kept saying it because I think he wanted the players to believe in something to look forward to. But
then again, I do kind of think he says things to the media to play the game a bit. So I agree with that.
I think maybe he won't be here. He wouldn't have been here if we got relegated. But anyway, we're in the Premier League and he is here.
But as I've said a few times with De Zerbi, it kind of doesn't matter if it's true or not. What matters is if the players believe it. Yeah. That's kind of what matters. That's what makes the difference.
But he was also speaking after Mickey van der Ven signed his contract, which we didn't bring in the Tottenham update, so I thought I'll just mention it now. And he said that Mickey is one of the best centre-backs in Europe and an important player for us. He has the qualities, mentality and ambition that we want at Tottenham Hotspur. And I'm very happy that he's decided to continue his journey with the club. We are building something strong here, and players like Mickey are an important part of that future. His decision to sign a contract shows his belief in what we're creating together. Absolutely spot on. And I think with that contract as well that Mickey's got, he's definitely going to be a vice captain, or maybe even captain. Could he be the captain?
Could he be? I would think if they were going to give him the captaincy, they probably would have announced it with the contract. That's the feeling I get. I could be wrong. So I feel like he probably won't be, but I think with the amount, I think Maddison is probably going to play this season. He could be well be the captain for the majority of games. And obviously he's captained Tottenham now a number of times, especially last season. And I thought definitely at the start of last season when he had those games he was captain, I thought he did quite a good job. So I think he's becoming more vocal. He's taking on more responsibility in that back line. I think for a lot when he first came, I felt like he was kind of like this quiet figure who obviously was under Romero's wing, and Romero was mostly taking the lead in that point, and obviously he was the captain, and Van der Ven would just be that kind of that safety blanket, that protector. But I think definitely last season, I know last season didn't go well, but I thought you saw a different side to Van der Ven.
Only when De Zerbi came in.
I think at the beginning of the season as well.
At the beginning, yeah, but there were periods in the middle where he was captain and he just wasn't wearing that armband with pride at all.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that's true. And I think he got that back under De Zerbi. That's right. But I thought there were times at the beginning of the season where I thought he was getting the captain's armband and he was showing that little bit more responsibility.
I kind of really noticed that leadership ability at the end of the season. I think that's where you saw it at its peak. All right, next up, he's talking about where his playing style comes from. And he says, my style comes from Barcelona in 2010 and 2009, the Barcelona of Pep, because that Barcelona was a school, another school for another part of football, as a style, as a principle, as a new idea of football, keeping the ball, rotation of the players, not fixing positions on the pitch. That's what we're going to be seeing next season.
Come on. We're going to be seeing prime Pep, prime Barcelona. I guess the difference with them is he had Messi and whoever else in their team, and we don't quite have that. So it's not going to be as easy for us to be playing prime Pep ball as Barcelona. But I do love that. I think that's obviously most people, all the football purists, when they think of the ultimate football, the old that Pep Barca team was just like, I have never seen a team in my lifetime control games and just knowing they're going to win. Like you watch them now, there's just no chance that team just doesn't win. They'll literally have like 90% possession of the game. The opposition would barely have a chance, and then they would just like absolutely just ticky-tacky their way through your defence. What I would say about that quote is obviously that was a while ago. Football, I feel like, has not moved on, but has adjusted to that quite a bit, and football's in a different space right now. Like a lot of different things are winning at the moment than that kind of football. I think tiki-taka had its kind of era. I'm not saying it's dead or anything, but I'm saying that kind of football is like, people have studied it, people have gone over it with a fine-tooth comb, and now people know how to play against that kind of football a lot more now than they did back then. So I think obviously saying, hey, I took inspiration of it, I'm sure he's put his own spin on it. And as I said before with De Zerbi, he's one of the more revolutionary coaches within himself. So I love that that's his inspiration, and I love that he's like kind of put his own take on it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. one thing is never a carbon copy of something else, particularly when you're talking about tactics and football. If you're a very good manager, and De Zerbi is a very good manager and an extremely good tactician, so it's great to hear that he's taken principles from that kind of football. And like you said, he'll put his own spin on it, he'll evolve it, and also when he sees something's not working, he's not like he's just going to persist with it and that's it. I felt like a lot of the time that's what maybe Ange would do, like the same kind of football, and if it wasn't working, he would just keep going again and try and make it work. De Zerbi won't do that. I think if De Zerbi sees something not working, he will change something.
Yeah, I think he's very adjustable. He's much more adjustable. And I think De Zerbi and himself, there are now coaches out there coming into the game who have taken principles from what De Zerbi has done. And that's the kind of level he's at as a coach.
He was talking about last season, about the style of play, and he said last season was a very important job, but not tactically, more to give some simple organisation and give some principles. And now the work starts. Now we are working to reach a clear style of play, a clear organisation on the pitch. And I felt like during pre-season, you might have seen like maybe 5 or 10% of it, and you saw like little things in pre-season,
and we were blown away by them. Sorry, I was thinking about back end of last season.
No, I'm talking about this pre-season.
Pre-season has been elements,
There's been a few elements of it, but still, there's still so much more that we can do and a long way to go.
But I would say, like, at the back end of last season, we would see, like, 2-3 players put a couple of combinations together. One pass. Like, oh my God, we can actually play football. Like, actually, we're not that as bad as we think. Like, what we had to put up with under Frank and Tudor, and then literally just seeing players put a few passes together was like all of a sudden revolutionary and incredible. I think definitely you've seen improvements on that in pre-season for sure. I think we definitely keep the ball better. Our build-up looks better. I think the way we play through midfield is better. We're having even more possession. But obviously, what's letting us down at the moment is just the quality in that final third just isn't there at the moment. So we need to obviously improve that. But I think you're seeing improvements, big improvements in pre-season.
Yeah. It's just like we've never seen build-up before. Not for a long time anyway. De Zerbi speaking about the summer signings so far, and he says not just Sandro Tonali being the most important player in the transfer market we signed, but because Van Hecke or Marcus Senesi or Robertson or Mateus Fernandes, even if he is very young, but all these players are very important to bring more qualities for sure. So obviously just speaking up the players that he's bought.
Yeah, and as we've said, I think all of the signings have been in De Zerbi's image, haven't they?
Yeah.
They're all very much geared towards playing the kind of football De Zerbi wants to play, so it's perfect.
He's talking about what a successful season would look like at Tottenham in this coming season, and he says, I would like to see our team with courage, with passion, with pride to stay in Tottenham and to be happy to stay in Tottenham. I would like to see the players focused on making our fans happy because we play for our fans for sure. So I think many people, when hearing that question, would say, "Oh, I want to hear him say, well, we're going to win the league, we're going to win a trophy." But no, I think he's just saying we need to get the passion back first.
I mean, it's been so bad. I think those wins you got to take as well. But I'm sure internally, they'll be talking about, especially when he talks with the board, they'll be talking about, we need to be challenging here. We need to get back in Europe at the minimum, Champions League. Look, if we could have a similar season like as Ange's first season next year, I think that'd be a good season.
So what, fifth?
Fifth, that'd be great.
Fifth, and
obviously I would like a cup run as well. We didn't really have any cup run then.
We got to have a cup run this season.
Yeah, we got to have a cup run.
Get past the second round of the League Cup.
That would be a start.
And the FA Cup, what was it? Fourth round in that year.
Fourth round, we lost to City.
So it's got to be better in the cups. But that is the Roberto De Zerbi quotes that we've got. But apart from that, that is all that we have today. Hopefully,
there's been a little update. If you've seen,
what's that?
Potential new recruitment in our recruitment team. According to Ben Jacobs.
Tottenham are interested in Dortmund chief scout Sebastian Krug. Krug played a role in bringing Erling Haaland and Jude Bellingham to Dortmund. Several candidates are still under discussions as Spurs look to add to their recruitment team in the coming weeks. So if they can find us at Erling Haaland or Jude Bellingham,
that wouldn't be bad, would it?
I'll take it.
But we need these kind of guys at the club because, as I've said, it's all well and good doing what we're doing now, and it's great signing the Van Heckers and Tonali's and whatever. But these aren't secrets, are they? These aren't players that no one knows about. Obviously, you have to spend big money, and I've got no problem with that. But when you're in a position that we're in now, where we're looking to get Savinho and Gakpo because they're the obvious targets, like we could do with someone who you can trust to find a gem, or trust to maybe find a bit of undervalue in the market. And if he's been doing that with at Dortmund with these kind of players, we need someone like that in our team.
Yeah, but it's mad. Like even with the clubs who are like at the forefront of their recruitment and data analytics and everything like that, even they're struggling to bring in players right now. So, however good our scouting is, the players still need to be there.
Of course.
So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what kind of players we bring in. And even this guy is not going to make an impact this summer, is he? It's going to be for future windows.
Unless he's got some ideas already lined up in the back lane. Oh, you need a left winger? Yeah, I got this guy. Plays for Mainz in Germany. Yeah, get him.
We've got 3 weeks to get him in and to utilise his list.
Yeah, true. Let's hope he's got an extensive list so he's ready to go.
Yeah. But that is it from us today. I want to thank you all for joining us, and we shall see you very, very soon. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.